Hello and welcome to Gorilla and the Geek, the podcast for sweaty nerds by sweaty nerds. My name is Kyle from Geeks Weekly, and I'm joined as always by my co-host John, the Ginger Gorilla. John, how you doing today?
Kyle, I'm doing wonderful. Another amazing quarantine weekend. Towards the end, well, middle. Where are we in August? I have no idea anymore. But
Slight beginning.
yeah, that's where we are. But it's exciting. It was an exciting week. A lot's happened this week, and we we really found a hierarchy in our group of friends who like to game together, and some of us are more competitive than others, and then some of us just come out of the woodwork and become the Candy Crush King. The Candy Crush King. Kyle has held the secret from this podcast, from his friend group, probably from his own family. Who knows? But he is grinding in the background of his life on Candy Crush. And not only is he grinding, he ran out of levels he grinded so hard.
Yeah, so I think I'm the highest rated or highest scoring player in all of Candy Crush right now, or something like that. It's pretty. I mean, look, any ladies out there, calm down. As I said on my Instagram when I announced this, I'm not. I'm actually taken because I'm married to the game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. I want to know when the sponsors are going to start rolling in for you. Screen protectors.
Screen protectors.
Maybe some
the tinted glasses.
Yeah, the glasses. Well, I mean, who even know? Maybe lotion for your hands, because all that swiping, it might dry out your finger or wear it out. Like you need a lotion.
A couple towels because I'm such a sweat, stuff like that. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool development from my gaming life this week.
But wait, that wasn't it. That's not all you did this week. You also put me on to the next best reality TV show.
Yes, I did.
I just couldn't let these two things slide past before we actually jumped into things here.
Forgot
so for like almost a month, would you say? Probably.
Over a month, no?
A month, a little over a month, right? Kyle and I watched Jersey Shore, as some of you may know. We talked about it on here. We did a whole long thing at the beginning of quarantine about Jersey Shore because we love it. And then Kyle went on to watch Family Vacation Reunion, whatever that's called. And then he decided to check out Paulie and Vinny's Double Shot of Love. And as soon as he started watching it, he said, "John, you need to watch this. It's amazing." And he hounded me day after day. Did you start yet? Did you start yet? Did you start yet? Now, I had things in my life going on. I was moving into a new apartment. There was, other things I had to watch and do. And, I was just feeling lazy sometimes. And, it takes a little effort to invest yourself in the first episode of a show. Well,
100%.
I took the plunge this week. I'm already on episode 8 of the first season. And this show's amazing. Me and my girlfriend, the Punk Box, are watching it. And it's a great show. Whoever produces these shows and come up with the ideas, it's amazing. But you need to know, once again, going into it, what you're going into. Because some of it is a little produced, like, you're just like... you could tell they're reading, basically, a line here or there. When they do, set up into, their room. They'll be, in their little room, laying on the beds, and they'll, set up a line here and there. But it's a lot of fun. And then knowing that Season 2 becomes more reality TV show-esque, it makes me excited because I like some of the group of girls that they got going on there.
Yeah, so if you would like to see what we're talking about, these episodes are available on MTV so long as you either are subscribed to them through their app or have them through your cable package.
You can also find them on demand. So on Verizon, at least, yes. Fios.
Yeah, and the first season is a game show about Paulie D and Vinny trying to find partners. And the second season is almost a remix of what Jersey Shore is, but again with Paulie, Vinny, they're the contestants from the show, and a couple of guys, and the new younger folk are working at Dre's nightclub, one of the biggest nightclubs in Vegas, in order to pay off them living there, while Vinny and Paulie have their residencies in Vegas, and it's a lot of fun. I think it could be as not as big as Jersey Shore, but maybe as good as Jersey Shore.
So, in other words, we might have to do another
reality review.
Now, Double Shot of Love. I feel like we should pick up at season 2 though. I mean, you could do a
Yeah,
brief talk, but man, it's been an exciting week. Kyle's on one this week.
yeah. And you know who else has been on one, John?
Who's that?
Disney.
Disney. Of course they have. I
Well, I
mean,
mean
wait.
they've
Can
been on one
we
for like 100
let's?
years. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, has Disney actually technically? I think this is like their first quarter that they've like lost money. So
oh,
technically
yeah,
they're not on one, but they're on one because they're
yeah,
Disney, and you know they're gonna bounce back probably harder than ever. It's probably gonna make them mad, like Jordan when he'd get pushed by an opponent, and then he would just come back and destroy everyone. I feel like that's what Disney's capable of.
Well, that might be what they're trying to do, John, because they announced a piece of news that has rocked the film landscape to its core. So, for those of you who don't know, Mulan was supposed to release this year, but due to the coronavirus, that's no longer happening, in theaters at least. But what Disney has said is that they are now going to release Mulan through VOD exclusively through Disney Plus. So, you need to have Disney Plus in order to watch this film. And on top of that, you need to pay a premium fee of $30.
Mm.
Now, John and I are not strangers to paying $20 for VOD. 30 is pretty high, and there's been a lot of outrage all across film Twitter and film culture over this because this has a lot of implications. Now, on the surface level, from a casual viewer's perspective, it's kind of like, wait, I'm paying for a Disney Plus subscription, and I have to pay $30 on top of that, which is something that a couple friends of ours were saying. And not only that, but the biggest implication that this has is, what if it works? What if people show that they are willing to pay this? I don't think they will be. I think this is going to flop. But what if people really do cough up the amount of money that they need in order for this to succeed? And just for people to know, I got these numbers from the John Campea podcast, which is where I get a lot of my film information. John does great work over there. He's one of my idols. So he said that Mulan probably needs somewhere in the ballpark of $300 million to break even, which means you probably need...
That's a lot of purchases.
A little over 10 million purchases.
That's a lot of that's not. They're not gonna. I mean, if they hit 10 million purchases, I'll be shocked. Is Disney Plus everywhere?
I think it's everywhere, but so they have 60 million subscribers, I believe.
All right.
Which is a lot. That's
and
a lot.
I think this might kick up the subscriber count a little bit. I also think once they start putting out Marvel shows, they'll kick their subscriber count up. But this is worrisome. I mean, now, hear me out. Most Disney Plus accounts probably are shared.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And then with that in mind, like, I think we talked about it in our little group of friends, our little group chat that we got, that you're going to probably share this with at least a couple people. And then you could split the price and it's not going to be as bad. But that is a good amount of money. But I also understand why. But the thing is, like, a lot of people don't realize, like, all right, we go to the movies. How much were movie tickets? I forgot because quarantine.
Between 12 to $16. All
right, say. If we lived in the city, we'd be paying upwards of $20, probably more than $20, $25, just to go to the movie theater. So is it really that irrational? Now, for a lot of the world who maybe go to Hobunk movie theaters, just little shanty movie theaters, it's like, yeah, it could be different because I'm paying $10 for a movie. Now I have to pay triple to watch this movie, but you're paying triple and you could have your whole family there, right? Where you need to buy individual tickets. And yes, I get the subscription, but I think that's, which I think you mentioned, part of their way of combating piracy, which I think will work. I think it's still gonna happen, but this might combat it a little bit. But also it's the mouse, so they'll probably get all that pulled down. But Kyle, it's funny that we're talking about Disney doing this because who owns ESPN?
Disney.
What sport do we love to watch? Who also basically goes through the same exact model?
The UFC.
The UFC. I'm pretty sure that you need an ESPN Plus subscription, which comes with Disney Plus. You could do those are package. But then you buy the pay-per-view through them. So you have it's like the same model. So now I'm starting to think: did Disney learn this from the UFC, or did the UFC learn this from Disney? Disney just like, and it works for that. It works to an
Well,
extent.
I
I
was
mean,
about to say
the
to an
numbers
extent.
dropped, but it works to an extent, which makes it even a little more like, wow, this they might know what they're doing. Which I mean, they're Disney. They probably have the best minds figuring out, okay, how can we recoup money on this? Um,
So the thing is, and I'm glad you brought up the UFC stuff because I didn't even think about that. The thing is, though, we need to figure out how much a UFC pay per view costs to produce.
oof, good question.
So let me Google real quick.
I don't even know if we'll be able to find that, to be honest, because of the tomato, aka Dana White, probably keeps all that under lock and key. He probably doesn't want the
Production
people
budget for
knowing.
UFC pay per view. Let's see how much money.
I am very curious because I never actually thought about this, so
Because I
it will
mean,
be very interesting to see.
production cost breakdown. So this is great radio. Me researching something on the fly.
Hey, man, as long as we're filling that dead air with our stimulating conversation,
Yes.
then we're
So
good to
like
go.
while I research this,
Yeah,
the reason I'm bringing this up is because movies need, especially a movie like Mulan, which costs a lot of money, they need a lot of money to recoup their cost. And I
yeah,
mean, it would be even more if they were going to theaters, of course, because you basically, I think, in if it's in theaters, you either have to do this with the production budget or the overall cost of the movie to make. You need to multiply that by 1.5
mm,
in order for it to be to
profitable.
break even.
Now my thing is, what I'm really thinking about is, are they justified in charging this price? Because I think that's the biggest debate that we got going on here. And with the thought in mind that you're probably gonna watch this as a family, most people aren't gonna watch this solo. And I would have to say, yeah, to an extent, because also I think most people have or know someone who has Disney Plus to be able to get through to that account. So I understand that it might be something that angers people, but at the same point, just giving it for free on the Disney Plus account, I don't think they would nearly make the money back that they would need. I don't think they would make any money really off of it because I don't think anyone's gonna get a Disney Plus account just for Mulan, basically. Now the only thing I could see that would be maybe a smart deal is that if they sell like a block, like a chunk of a block of account packaged with the Mulan, like if you're not already a member, and you get like a deal on 3 months or 6 months or something. So they lock you in for that amount of time. Um, and then hopefully within 6 months, basically like a gym membership, you forget that you paid for it, so you're still paying. And even if you use it or you don't use it, you remember it's still there, right? Um, but then you also buy the movie, and now maybe the movie's $20, but you also buy that block of how many months, right? I
Yeah,
think that would have been a smart marketing plan too. It's like offer some package deal because that's what the
well,
UFC does too. With
yeah.
if you don't have ESPN Plus, you could get ESPN Plus and the pay per view, and it's at like a cheaper rate for one of those two things or both of them. I don't remember, but I think that would have been a smart thing too.
So here's the thing. I just saw online right here. This might be BS, but it said the cost of doing an event like a pay per view is about 1.2 million. How much is How much does a pay per view cost?
um, I want to say like 60
Let's
about.
go 60. So let's say a pay per view does 150,000 buys, right? Let's just throw that out there. That's a number I saw.
Yeah.
Times 60, it's $9 million. So it works for them if they get that many buys.
But also the thing is, 150,000 buys is super low. Super low. Like
Even for
they're
right now.
easy. Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
That's the thing. If they got under 100,000 buys, I think they'd be seen as like they're failing. I mean, I don't think that's ever I don't think that's happened. Like I wonder what the lowest pay per view buys are. Um,
Now you also have to figure in though that they have to pay the fighters as well. So who
Yeah.
knows if that's accounted into the 1.2 million? I'm gonna say no, especially if you have main event fighters like Conor McGregor on there. Definitely not if Conor's fighting. Definitely doesn't cost 1.2 million. That might be like one of the figures on his multiple checks from a fight. But so the thing with this is, and the reason that people are pretty outraged within the film community,
Yeah.
is what if this becomes the future of blockbuster films? What if now everything goes straight to VOD because now production studios are saying, well, we don't need the movie theaters anymore, and they were just taking some of our money anyways. If we could just make our money through this, and why not do it? What if this becomes the new normal? What if they do, like, they could market this as like a straight to consumer type of thing?
Yeah.
And they can tell people it's okay to bunch up and split the cost of this to make it more affordable. Because if you think about it, let's say they did this with Black Widow, which I think would be a very different story if they did. If they released Black Widow through the same way, and let's say you, KG, and myself decide that we want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
That's less than, I mean, the subscription. What is the subscription to Disney Plus? Like $6?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't pay for mine.
So let's say it's $6 divided by 3, 2 a pop, plus $10 from each of us to chip in for the movie. That's the cost of a movie ticket.
Cheaper, because you don't gotta pay for gas to get there. We're not buying a seltzer water because that's what we love to drink while we.
Yeah, of course. But here's the thing, John. I'm not saying that's okay.
Well, no.
I'm not justifying it either. I'm just giving you the way that they could rationalize it to us as consumers.
That's true. But it's also, when you go to the movie theater, I'm willing to pay a little extra because you get the movie theater experience, bigger screen, sound.
Yeah,
sound.
But you and I are fans of going to the cinema. That's like a thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. A lot of people like watching movies at home, but there's also a lot of people who don't. Like, I know Punkbox just told us that she only really likes watching movies when it's at a theater, which
it becomes an event.
Yeah, because I understand, because one, it gives you something to do. It's something to go. It's not just in your living room where you feel like I could pause this whenever I want. I don't really need to be watching this. If I don't like it, I don't really have to sit through and see if it pays off. I could just be like, whatever. But I mean, what do you think the ideal price would have been? Where everyone would have been like, yeah, that's a great price.
Ideal or realistically ideal?
I mean,
because ideal would have been just going straight to Disney Plus for free.
Yeah, but now I meant like ideal. Okay, yeah, realistically ideal.
Realistically ideal. So Sean, also from Geeks Weekly, was presenting the consumer side of the debate, and he said that it should have been either on Disney Plus or it should have been $20 everywhere. However, they want to maximize revenue, so it was going to be on Disney Plus exclusively anyways. I mean, that's just the way it's going to work, unfortunately. So I think if we want to be really realistic, I think $20 Disney Plus would have been less outrage.
Yeah.
A $10 price jump, to be fair, is a lot. But again, I think they might be accounting for the fact that people are going to split the cost, like we probably would if we had to watch a comic book movie through there anyways. But my thing is, if they do try to get this to be the norm, that's not good for people like you and I, who like going to movies.
Because
it's a really bad thing.
I think we'd see a lot more movies taking that path. Now, hear me out. If they did it where, let's say, to go to the movies, ticket prices were about the same, $12, right, whatever, right? But then you could stay home, and it was $30, maybe with the subscription, right? I think they would probably see the best possibility with that. Maybe they even come out at the same time, you know? And
you mean coming out in theaters and on VOD at the same time?
Yes, but only through Disney Plus. And I know that could get a little tricky, but the reason I say that could be a good future thing, because, like, let's say this does pop off, right? And they're like, oh crap, do we really need to push it out to theaters anymore? Like, this is working, so on and so forth. Maybe this isn't the new model. Would Like, but like I
So
don't see theaters
here's the
ever going
thing.
out. But I think that could be like an alternative maximization.
Here's the biggest issue with that. That ultimately, because if you rationalize it like we just did, which you could eat, we did that in with. I didn't prep for that discussion. That's just something that came to my mind as we were talking just now.
Mm-hmm.
You have a marketing campaign that sells people on this, and it works. I don't think the majority of people are going to go to the movies for this type of stuff.
Yeah.
I think I could see a lot of families, let's say, or even like, dude. I mean, we're not of that age yet, but like I can imagine me in like 10 years or so being a dad and like I'm still a massive film fan because that's never going to go away, yearning for the days of my youth where I can go to the movies every weekend and going, oh wait, I can just watch these new releases whenever I put the kids to bed. I could see that being a thing, and not having to worry about a sitter. So I think, like with everything, there are two sides to the argument that are very valid,
Yeah.
but I personally don't like the negative possibilities towards movie theaters. I think this could destroy the theater business.
Yeah, and that I mean I don't think it would ever go out, right? Like, um, I mean, will it hurt it? Maybe will it make ticket prices go up due to them having to probably close maybe other theaters. Maybe little indie theaters might go out, but I don't think the big movie theaters will just be like, yeah, we're closing doors whenever we can't, and like every theater shuts down, right? I think there will always be a movie theater, right? It's
Okay.
just, I mean, movies are the medium, and there's still Broadway plays, right? There's still playhouses, smaller playhouses that show plays. But the thing is, it could get down to the thing where now maybe it's only on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that you could see a movie.
True.
Like it becomes more of a theater experience instead of just we're open every single day of the week. Um, so I mean, in that sense, I think it could kill the theater industry. But I don't think that they would just be like, oh, all of a sudden there's no more movie theaters. I don't think that's ever going to go away because I do think there's a lot of people, like we were saying, that do like going to the movie theaters, like us. We like going for the full experience. Some people like going just because that's the only way they really enjoy watching movies.
And
And
some
I
people
mean,
like
there's
going because it gets them out of the house.
yeah, and I get some people probably don't like going to the theaters. They'd rather just stay home and watch the
Yeah.
movie. Um, but with all that, I don't know. It's good. Once again, it's this weird crossroads that we've come to in what we do and watch. Basically, like months and months and months ago, when we were talking about all the streaming platforms and all these options, here we go again with a new development that we probably didn't predict back then. Of
No.
oh, all of a sudden they're putting out new releases and you have to pay for them on the app. Like it's
This is unprecedented.
yeah, it's crazy.
To tell, I would have laughed right in your face and called you a dumb Dugan if you had told me a year ago, yo, Mulan is releasing VOD in a year. It's not going through the theater. So I would have been like, are you dumb? They're not going to make their money back. Now, before I ask you ultimately what you want as a result, which, I mean, I might be getting a little savage with what I want from this result, you're the math guy here. Can you tell us, through some quick maths with your computer brain, how many people? So we know 10 million would need to do that. Would need
That's not
to buy.
factoring in possible if they're counting subscriptions as like revenue towards the movie. If it's just
Hmm.
off of the buys, then yes, it would be 10 million.
Well, yes. So, but like one out of however many accounts would need to buy,
Well, if it's 10 million,
and there's
how
60 million total.
there's 60 million, that's 1/6.
All right, so one out of every
Which
six
isn't
accounts.
a wild ask. And that's assuming that there's no new accounts made to watch it, which I think you'll get.
You think?
I think you'll get some. I don't think
I don't
that's the
think a lot though.
wildest
I
thing.
don't think a lot.
No,
I don't think a lot.
I don't think I'm crazy, but I think in the thousands,
That's so crazy.
which
Wow.
doesn't even seem like a lot when you have 60 million. 60 million. That's a lot of accounts.
I'm nervous, bro. So
Because
ultimately,
1.6 isn't a big ask, I don't think.
I don't know I don't know metrics like that. So I don't. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's like.
What is that as a percentage? Because sometimes things sound different as a percentage. Let me pull my calculator.
Wow, 1/6 really doesn't sound like a lot at all. That's crazy.
Bro, you ready? Here, this is gonna blow your mind. 17%. 17% of people who have Disney Plus will have to be like, yeah, let me buy Mulan. That's not a lot of people.
So this is like possible.
Mm-hmm. And once again, that factors in not new accounts.
So to wrap up the conversation, John, what do you hope is the result of this?
I
What do you
don't.
want it to be?
I want quarantine to be over. I want to be able to go to movie theaters with my pals. Chuckles, right. Chuckles were in danger.
I will give my flat out answer.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
I want this to crash and burn. I want them to make like 20 million bucks. Because I am so scared that everyone's going to start doing this and it's going to kill the big blockbuster movie experience.
I wonder.
Terrified.
I wonder if there's Vegas odds on if they'll make their money back on this movie.
Can you Google that real quick?
I'll try.
Because I think it comes out later this month.
Vegas odds that Disney will make.
I would like to put some money on that. That's kind of interesting sounding. That'd be a cool bet. And I mean, there's no real like sports gambling. Well, there's some sports gambling now with the NBA being back and baseball, but I'd love to do that with movies. I don't even know where you would look for that though.
No, I don't think there is.
Okay, so yeah,
that would be a lot of. That would be so much fun if you could bet if movies are gonna make their money.
That should be a. We might need to cut this out of the pod. So we might have a business opportunity. So yeah, those are our thoughts on it. This is a very difficult discussion to have because I feel bad rooting for like this piece of art that people worked really hard on to fail, but it's for like the greater good. And I mean, John's clearly torn. Let us know what your thoughts on this are because this could affect all of us movie fans forever. And speaking of something that was a little bit controversial at the time, Suicide Squad.
Wait. Sorry. I pulled up an article about this. They're over 100 million global subscribers already. Disney. I think Mulan made a surge. Their stock price went up 9%.
Whoa.
This article has literally said why Disney Plus Mulan release is a brilliant move. I think we need to go into a bunker at this point. Everything we know and love is crashing around upon us. And I'm sorry for cutting you off for your next topic, but I pulled this one up because I was like, oh, what the hell? That's so wild.
Can you do that math real quick of everything we just did? Because now it's all been debunked. And
well, if it's 100 million,
it's
because now what do we need? We said we we said we needed how many? 30 or no?
We needed 10 million people.
Oh, now it's 1/10. That's 10%. We just brought it down 7%. 10% of the people. And that's not even. It's not even September yet. Who knows by the end of this month how much they'll get.
So speaking of things that suck, Suicide Squad came out 4 years ago. Now that man, I'm so sad now. This is gonna be bad. Oh, it's like that Stephen A. Smith gif. This is bad. This is very, very bad. We're heading towards a really odd time, John.
Yeah, I don't see this going. I don't know.
That is a massive jump.
That is why.
Oh my gosh,
dude, that's so many subscribers. They don't even have content.
Was I wrong in the 60 million?
I don't know. Wait, I need to see if I can find another article that backs this.
All right. While you look that up, I'll go on to the next topic. And if we need to bounce back because this is the biggest story of the week, we will. So, as I was saying about things that suck, Suicide Squad, the movie came out 4 years ago. And just this week, they officially announced that they are producing a Suicide Squad game. And a couple weeks ago, I put out a video discussing the superhero movies that I think over the years should have gotten the video game treatment. And I forget if Suicide Squad was on the list or if it was just outside the list. But either way, it's a game that probably should have been made back when the movie came out because there was so much hype around it. Now, John, you and I are big superhero fans. Yes. Marvel's Avengers game just released its beta this week, which you are playing, as well as Sean and KG. You know what? It'd be fun if you guys did a little discussion about the game, your thoughts on it and stuff.
Yes, I would like to wait before the beta or like till the full game comes out to necessarily do that though, because I don't like critiquing betas to an extent of like a review, because you need to give that developer needs time to get a little bit of feedback from it. That's why it is a closed beta, like so they can see how the servers are running, pros and cons on these things, so on and so forth.
That's true. And I was wondering, John, and I'll give my thoughts too afterwards as well, what your thoughts are on a Suicide Squad game, what you'd like to see from it, maybe how it plays, whether you want it to be like a story-based game, an MMORPG. What would you like to see from the Suicide Squad game?
What would I like to see from Suicide Squad? I think I would just like it as basically a kind of like the Arkham games, like the Batman games.
Same here.
But remember in GTA, the latest GTA, how in the story mode you could switch to a different character and you pick up with them somewhere else.
So do you want it optional?
I would like it optional to switch.
Okay.
Maybe they each have their own little storylines, but then they have storylines together too. Maybe you have to do some as a full squad, and even within that fighting, you'd be able to switch around. I think the option of playing as different people is what would make it a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And even if you have to level each of those people individually, I think it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that'd be sick.
Not because if they don't do it that way, and let's say they did make it like this Avengers game where it's an MMORPG, that's too much work.
Yeah,
it's too much work, and I think
especially for a lesser known property.
Exactly. With the Avengers, there's so many people due to the comics Avengers like that you could put into that game, right? Like the Avengers could be huge. So you could just keep putting characters in, especially once you get like the design down. If they make it Destiny-like, where it's the MMORPG, you could level these characters up, so on and so forth. You can make it a lot better. But with Suicide Squad, it's like, okay, who am I gonna like? Okay, I got these. 6 people?
I will say this though.
I mean, but having it all individual, like having a solo game, I think it could be a lot of fun.
So here's what I would like. I would like it being a story-based game as well, in the same style of the Arkham series. I would like them to go a more serious route with it, rather than like kind of the cartoonish, colorful, kind of goofy route that the movie was marketed as well as how Birds of Prey wound up being. I want it to be more dark. I want it to be gritty. I want it to be like hyper violent. I want it to be a bad guy video game. I want them to talk a lot of crap while they're playing. I want you to do bad things while you play as them. And I think what would be really cool is what you could do is to introduce the lesser known villains that you could put into the Suicide Squad, like they did in the comics over the years. You can have DLCs come out every once in a while and bring in a new character that you can play as for like a little short story.
And even if you could only travel as like 3 of them at a time, and you have to like choose which 3 you're going to run around the city as, cool. And then you could, as you're playing, you could switch to either 3 of those to play as, and the other 2 will just be AI that's like around you. But then like you go to your home base and you could swap them out, like, hey, it's your turn or whatever. Right? I think that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I definitely don't want it to be based on the movie though, personally.
No. Keep it its own thing, like the Avengers. They don't have the same voices. They don't have the same. Which I mean, the Avengers I would have liked if they modeled it after, because it's just that's who I know these people as. But with that said, this just obviously we haven't been the biggest fan. I mean, you can model the Harley Quinn after Margot Robbie, but that's all I really care about. Like,
Yeah,
I just think she plays a good Harley Quinn.
and
Now
she's
is it
like,
portrayed as the best? But I like.
and she's like one of the most pleasant things visually, like in the history of the planet.
Yeah,
But you don't have to agree. Don't get in trouble. Uh,
Tarantino thought her feet were nice.
yeah, jeez. But yeah, so those were my two topics of the week. I thought that one a story that linked back to a video that I made a couple weeks ago was pretty cool, and the Mulan story was just too big to ignore and had so many big implications. And now I'm very upset because of what John told me. So yeah, now that I'm crushed emotionally, mentally, and physically, John, what were your topics for this week?
Just real quick, what I saw online, I couldn't find any new update numbers, like for sure. But all the 50 million number that was I saw up there was from April.
Oh,
So,
so you think maybe
and that's
during the
before
quarantine
Hamilton.
and
That's
wow,
before, yeah. So I think that may have been before they. I think they opened up to more countries in between then and now. So I
that's so
think it's
crazy.
yeah. Disney. I mean, it's Disney. What do we expect? Like,
I was hoping for not world domination,
and you know they're
but
probably pissed off that Hulu's not doing well enough, so they're just like, you know what, all in. Disney
that's so
smash.
yeah, Disney smash indeed. But John, your topics?
Alrighty, so video games, guys. I mean, crazy world we're living in. And with that crazy world, we've had an ongoing topic of streamers and where they're gonna go. And with that, we also had the topic of Doc Disrespect just disappearing. And then all of a sudden, he puts up this video. That's just strange. Kyle, how would you describe that video that we saw?
You want to be honest?
Yeah.
Dumb in a big waste of time. It's a 3 minute video of him singing a song about why he should even try. He gets a phone call, I imagine to allude to the last time he was on stream, got a phone call and was never seen again for like a month and a half. I'm kind of pissed that I watched the entire thing. I thought it was really weird. I guess it was to build hype, but not
But
for me.
guess what? Did it build hype? Of course it did. It got millions of views. It got millions of views, and then what happened? He announced that he was going to be seen on stream for the first time on YouTube the next day at 12 p.m. Pacific time. And there he was. He did his stream on YouTube, and it crushed 300,000 viewers at once, not just, here and there. 300,000 viewers. That is, I mean, that is a crazy amount of viewers. He crushed it. So Doc is back. Doc is now on YouTube, inked a deal that we don't really know much about yet. So maybe next podcast we'll be able to dig into that a little more. But Doc went there, and then also Ninja popped up on Twitch. That he popped up on YouTube. I was like, oh, this is him probably making a play for YouTube to show he could be relevant on YouTube. And now all of a sudden he's on Twitch, and he crushed it. For 2 hours, his average viewer count was 70,000. He peaked at over 115, I think, thousand viewers. And obviously, with the numbers that we just said Doc did, Doc is a very special being. And I think people were very interested to see if he was going to go off on Twitch or something. So I think that's why his views were so high. But with that said, Ninja crushed it. An average viewer count of 70,000. You don't see that. You don't see that anymore on Twitch. Those are some crazy numbers that he pulled. And once again, my wonder is why. And that's what I kind of wanted to throw just a brief question. I mean, I said why last time. Why now? Like, why? Like, what do you think his play is here? Do you think this is to basically get leverage for a contract? Because I can't see anything else that's going on.
Ninja?
Yeah.
So he didn't sign with Twitch?
I literally Googled it before this. I'm Googling, I'll do it again right now, Ninja, Twitch, and I'll check Google News. And everything says Ninja is back on Twitch, but it doesn't say that he signed a deal.
You know, it's, to be honest with you, it's hard to tell. Maybe he just doesn't care. because like it's been when did Microsoft shut Twitch down or Mixer down
You mean
or
the day
announce
they
it?
announced it? It
Yeah,
was June 22nd, and then it shut down on July 22nd.
and Ninja stopped streaming like 2 weeks before that, right?
Yeah.
So it's been like 2 months since he's had regular streams, and I don't know, man. Maybe he's just kind of being a free agent for a while and trying to. Maybe he's doing this because he's enjoying all the hype around him streaming once in a while. Maybe he's enjoying life as a part-time star. That's the only thing I can think of. Because otherwise, I don't really. I have no insight as to why someone would put off signing for a big bag, right?
Mm-hmm. I think the only thing is they're not being offered the numbers that they want. That's the only thing I could think about here. Is that he thinks he's worth more, and Twitch or YouTube or is just not offering it. So he's like, all right, we'll do some negotiations. Who knows how long that takes, right? Because it probably takes a decent amount of time to, have your people say, okay, what are we going to say now that we want? Send it through, have them look it over. They talk about send it back, right? So I think he's pulling this off and being like, they don't think I have this clout anymore. They don't know who they're dealing with because I was at 8,000 viewer on Mixer due to just the platform restrictions, basically. And then he comes in and he crushes it. Now, then Twitch could still have the argument of, hey, well, it was a one-time stream, people, there's hype behind you, blah, blah, right? But even if he only does half of that, that's still 35,000 average viewers, right? Like, that's still crushing it as a partner on Twitch, still destroying it, and would be a huge asset. So my idea is that I think he's trying to make that play and get the bag, because I don't think, like you said, why isn't he taking this massive bag? I don't think he's being offered that. I think there's still some like crazy negotiations going on that he's fighting for, and he's not being paid what he thinks he's worth, and that's what he's trying to get. And it was also one of those funny things that he lost everything during when Twitch like kicked him off, or when they shut down his page. Then he also posted, "Hey guys, I'm an affiliate. Like I made it to affiliate status, not even partner. I'm an affiliate on Twitch again, guys." And
That's funny.
and like everyone was like, "Man, you're gonna make it huge." All like the other streamers were commenting on his Twitter post, like, "Man, you're gonna make it big one day. Like, you're gonna kill it. Keep it up, man." And it was just funny to see because this is the probably still one of the biggest streamers out there. I mean, and he's just nowhere to be seen. It's like, I mean, once going back to MMA, where's Connor? Like, is he actually retire? Is Ninja gonna retire? Like, what's happening? But I just wanted to bring it up because I felt like it was pertinent information that we needed to talk about. Something keep that update of this streaming wars through video games standpoint. But with that, we've had a lot of other stuff come out this week too with video games. As we mentioned earlier, the Avengers closed beta for people who pre-ordered on PS4 came out, and it was played a little. I played it a little bit. I know Sean and KG also played it. Kyle watched it, and it's fun. It's fun. I see the potential there. I could see where things are gonna go. I got a little bored at the very beginning because I was in it for a while and I was still just doing a regular campaign mission where I couldn't jump in with my friends, and that hindered it because I was so excited to play with friends. Like I wanted to run as a squad as the Avengers, and getting that maybe like I think it was at least an hour I was playing and I still haven't gotten there, and I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for. So if they hear this, that's the one critique I got for you. But that potential is there, especially with how much it looks like they're going to work on the game. But the one thing that is, I think, going to be a little bit drawback is that price. It's a full game price, and I get it.
60 bones.
But I bet you there's going to be a battle pass in there. There's cosmetics already. I'm curious to see if the new Avengers are going to be DLC or if they're just going to be everyone gets them.
What would you prefer?
Oh no, everyone should get them. If they make it a DLC, it will ruin the game. Because now you're like, and that's the thing. The only other thing I could see that's kind of weird about this is I don't know how competitive. I don't think you could have not competitive, but I don't think you have really a PvP thing in
Probably
this
not.
game, which I think will hold it back to some extent. Because if it's a MMORPG, it's really not an MMORPG if you can't have PvP type of thing. Which I think then that could make the game stale after a while, because you level your characters and then eventually you're like, all right, I leveled them up. What can I do? Where, as we know, Destiny, we level up in September. New season comes out. That level max goes up. You're now low level, just like everyone else again. So it basically resets you, and now there's new weapons, new things. They add new games. They swap things out. There's new worlds. Like that's the thing. Destiny adds a new planet, and it's like here now you could go explore this. And I don't know if I see the Avengers game doing that. Now, could it be fun? Yeah, but I think that price point is a little steep, and especially nowadays, which I'm gonna go into the other game I want to use as an example. Fall Guys came out this week, and Fall Guys is a $20 game. Now, is it a simple game? Yes, but it's a $20 game, and on PlayStation Plus for free, which I think is a brilliant idea. Um, Now the only thing though, not on Xbox, which is weird. Very weird. Now, I wonder if it's Sony trying to ink like a hey, while it's on PlayStation Plus, let it be on PlayStation Plus, then you could release it to Xbox eventually. But let us get like the exclusives, so maybe people are like, oh, PlayStation getting the exclusives. We just saw news that apparently PlayStation's reaching out to everyone, being like, hey, we got a bunch of money if you want to give us exclusive things, exclusive games, exclusive content, DLC, whatever it is they could get their hands on, they're dishing out money, and Microsoft isn't doing the same thing. Or Microsoft is not willing to outpay or outbid Sony. And that's gonna, I mean, for the next gen console wars, which we'll get into later, not today, but later at a later date, due to the fact that I want it to be more of like a, oh, they're coming out like next week type thing. I think that's gonna be a big play for Sony. That's gonna be a big play. But with that said, what I really want to talk about today is this new landscape of gaming. Fortnite's free, Call of Duty Warzone's free. They use these battle pass things to make money. You can buy V-Bucks, you could buy COD points. That's how they really make their money. And then you have games like Avengers, which you'll also be able to buy points. Games like 2K, where every year it comes out, but then they make a killing off of the points that you buy on there. What makes a game marketable anymore? And I'm not saying like just a regular story mode driven game, because those are their own lane, right? I'm talking about a game that is going to be driven by online play, and have longevity. What will make that game marketable and stand out, in this world of like, do we make it free? Do we not make it free? Do we have the battle pass? And what are you going to look for? Because I do think you could pay for games still, and games like that, but you're going to need to offer something along the lines to get me to play it. But I'm curious to what you think as someone who's not nearly necessarily as willing to pay for a game, unless you know that you're going to love it.
Yeah, so for me, like I downloaded Fall Guys this week. I did not download or purchase the beta for Marvel's Avengers, and the reason for that was just like you said. I am, excuse me, I was willing to download a free game, and Fall Guys is fun as fun can be. It's silly. Everything about it is very user friendly, aside from the fact that the servers are really bad right now. But again, it's a new game. They didn't expect the popularity to be
New
as
game
big as
from
it
a
is.
small company. I like that's the one thing people have to
Yeah,
keep in mind. This game, like, I just read something that it's the first. I forgot how many. Like, it's his first game to get so many views on Twitch. That's not a AAA game, which is like, as you'd say, like a blockbuster movie. A AAA game is like Call of Duty and from big companies that we know already.
yeah. So the it's the fact that it's like a free game. It's fun. It doesn't make me rage, which is great. And it's just a really fun user experience. And there's microtransactions if you want. They're purely cosmetic, but you also have the possibility through just grinding the game of getting the currency. It's kind of like 2K in that way. 2K, you don't really have to pay to play, but if you want to be good right away, you kind of do to be good. And that's what winds up happening a lot of the times. And because it's the number one basketball game in the world, yeah, you're kind of your hand is forced if you want to play right away with your friends because everyone's going to start doing it, especially if you're an adult. And I think that's where, I don't know, I think it's all kind of random, to be honest with you. I don't know really why Fortnite popped off when it did, but it did. I mean, it was fun, sure. It was creative. You had the building aspect, which was new to a lot of people. Although I think that might have been involved in another game. Correct me if I'm wrong, John.
I don't know. I mean Minecraft, but like it wasn't the same. Like
Okay,
it's not.
so it introduced a new mechanic to the
Yeah.
battle royale system, which is once you're innovating, then that's how this stuff
Mm-hmm.
happens. With Fall Guys, I'm not necessarily sure that there's anything new, right? I mean, it's
That's
an
the
obstacle
thing.
course
Like,
based battle royale. If you
I mean,
think
it's
about
the first thing of that genre. Like, because so far battle royales have been what? Like you go in and you fight each other. It's a gun battle royale. I'm gonna try to kill you. You're gonna try to kill me. We haven't had really a battle royale that's obstacle course or based in like these ways. Um, so I think that's one of the like someone took that. Okay, we start with this many people and we narrow it down until we get this many people, and then we get a winner. And I think this is the first variation since battle royales have popped off that we're actually seeing, which I think is one of the reasons it stands out. What one of the reasons stood out to me was for that because it is a little bit of competitive, but it's not over the top competitive where you're gonna rage, like Kyle said. Um, and another thing I think about it is the fact that they were able to get that PlayStation Plus deal kills it because just like Rocket League did way back when it first came out. It got the PlayStation Plus, so it was free. I have it because I was just like, oh, car soccer, this looks like fun. And then it became this huge game. I don't even really play it anymore. By really, I mean I don't play it anymore. But I know that if I went to pick it up, it's gonna be a completely different game from what I used to know. Because now, like, there's obstacle courses with it. Like, there's just so many other things you could do,
that. Yeah.
and it's a lot of fun. And that's one of the things that I want to see out of Fall Guys. But my one question is, money wise, right? Do you think a lot of games have to start looking at this free model, and then you buy things within the game? And what I mean by that is, I'm going to give you a pitch. Let me see what you think of this. 2K. What's the problem with 2K, the game in general, that you usually talk about?
Well, there's a couple of things, but the biggest problem, in my opinion, is the fact that you pay $60 every year. Uh, you have to make a new guy, and you're spending money on these microtransactions. That's
Yes.
probably the biggest one.
So, here's an idea, right? 2K. This year, they're like, last time, right? I mean, Call of Duty put out Warzone, right? You still have the Call of Duty, but now you could get the Warzone for free. They have their campaign, and they're gonna keep selling Call of Duty campaigns, but Warzone, the multiplayer, will always be there. Why don't they have a 2K that you have the online play? They do seasons, right? Maybe you could get battle passes with new like jersey types and things like that. Um, just I mean, they could even add emotes to the game. Like I don't know if you have an emote within a game.
There are very
Like
much.
think about how many emotes you could have. That would be so much fun. Basketball players are constantly doing something new on the court that everyone's like, oh, that was wild. Like so like
Mm.
if some I mean you're in cahoots with the NBA already, so if a basketball player does a gesture on the court that all of a sudden blows up, now you could do that. New players come out with new styles. I mean, not every year necessarily, but then you could add those styles in, right? So on and so forth. Now, it's already, I mean, 2K is more of a pay to win, so this would even work more in their benefit anyway, because you know people are going to be buying the points. But with that, you're basically paying $60 every year for what? Maybe the story mode because it's a little different.
Just the story and the fact that there might be like the new rookies, or they upgraded players to what they are like rating wise now. So like let's say someone that you know Zion Williamson is, correct?
Yes.
So when 2K first came out, he was probably rated like an 80 or something. Whereas now you probably rate him like an 86, 87, around there.
Yeah.
So like that also changes every year as well. It upgrades
Yeah.
with where the players are at.
So, with that said, I think they should have their general 2K free, right? Make it free. Or make it a one-time lower purchase, right? And then you play, and they update that stuff generally, right? They update rosters, they update levels of players for the online play. And then every year, they do a DLC for a new story mode, right? A new single-player story mode. And now those stories could range, right? Maybe one year you have a kid going through club ball, right, at a young age. Maybe at one year you have a kid coming from the streets and he grinds through high school. He comes up, right? But you make these stories story-driven, and then you try to drive that player to be... Because that's one of the things that I remember hearing about 2K, where I played Madden, but the Madden franchise mode sucked. There was no story
really bad. Really bad.
How much fun every year would it be to just where they implement a little more, and maybe it's not $60 now, maybe it's $20, because you're making this killing revenue off of all these points. But I think that would be more appealing to the general population, especially. But I think once again the problem is that if they're selling these games every year, it's not gonna stop.
Here's the thing. I like your pitch much better than what we have right now. What we have right now is a company that has made probably billions of dollars and does not care about their consumer base. They're just like where... So what people thought Epic was at, like, let's say early this year, maybe late last year, especially late last year, is where 2K has been for like half a decade. 2K... like their developers often troll because like they consider themselves like celebrities within the 2K community. It's kind of sad, to be honest with you. They often troll the massive content creators that critique the game, play the game, discuss the game, and push the popularity of the game as well. And discuss like the metas and stuff. Now your pitch isn't realistic because those are the types of people that we have at the helm of this game, but it is something that I believe, much like with Fall Guys, what I was saying, is much more consumer friendly. Now, everyone speaks with their wallet. I know for myself, so 2K21 is coming out next month, I believe. It's coming out on the PS4, and then will be out, I believe, when the PS5 is out, for PS5 as well. I'm not buying the PS5 right away, so I will not be doubling up on a game this year. So what I plan on doing is I'm probably going to buy the original release when it comes out. And whenever next year at some point, whenever I do buy the PlayStation 5, by then I'll probably try and wait until there's like a super sale on 2K21. And that's when I'll download it for like $15.
And that's even if I mean, you might at that point want to just wait till 2K22.
Exactly.
Like it's
exactly.
the thing.
What is interesting though is if they do experience a lag in sales because of that, that would be pretty interesting, and maybe that will force them to think outside the box, kind of like what you just presented.
Yeah, because like I just can't see a lot of new games come out and be like, hey, we have to charge you for something that you could now play.
Let's just get that out of the way right now. 2K can only do that because there's no competition.
That's the thing.
And it's a legacy franchise.
It's the same with the EA games, the FIFA, Madden, the UFC games now are turning more into that. You can't really... There's nothing to compete with them. And you can't compete with them because they have rights to these organizations and their players for the most part.
And they've had decades to make like the best possible engines for these types of games. You know what I mean?
So it's just one of those things that, I mean, ideally I would love to see, but I don't know if it's going to. But we're going back to Fall Guys and those different types of models for just games that are coming out. So, my worry is once Fall Guys falls off of the PlayStation list, do you think I wonder if it's going to stay as popular? Because I think it will. Now, my argument is the fact that it's fun as long as they keep updating things. It will stay
Bingo.
a lot of fun. And if they do eventually release it, which I'm assuming, I can't see why they wouldn't, when they eventually release it to Xbox, I think they're gonna get a flood of people buying it off of there.
And Switch.
And the Switch, that's the big thing. I mentioned it the other day. If they put out this game on the Switch, it will destroy because it's family friendly. There's literally nothing like bad about it. And that would be so much fun to just. It could be a good party game. Like if you have a bunch of friends who have Switches, like it could be fun.
It's the type of game that like a parent could play with their kids.
Yeah, I mean we're adults and we're giggling at playing this game because it's just a silly game that you don't have to stress over anymore. But there's still a little bit of a competitive edge to it because I like getting that crown. I got it twice, and I'm like, I want more. I want more.
Exactly.
But my last question about it, and last thing wrapping this all up, for the future of a game like Fall Guys, which technically it was supposed to be $20, we got it for free. The first season pass was free. What would your limit be if you had to buy a season pass or possibly like a DLC for more levels and stuff, which I don't see them doing because that would be like, then how do we break up who plays what?
For Fall Guys specifically.
For Fall Guys specifically, let's just stay right now. Like
so
the
game's
season
$20. A season pass, 2 months worth of stuff, or a 2-month long season pass. Let's say maybe like $5.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, anything over that, it's asking too much, especially since it's technically a paid-for game.
Yeah.
But on the other end, we don't know if they're gonna do that, considering the fact that you could earn stuff by playing the game. Now, my last thing that I wanted to bring up, which I forgot, and I wanted to run this idea at you. Would you mind, like, let's say Fall Guys is like every season pass is free, but now, since a lot of people are playing, we have all these things. On the edges of the maps that you have, they run ads.
I wouldn't care. Sure.
Wouldn't that even make it more fun? Because it seems more like an arena in a sense. Like it would. It seems weird.
Make it seem like a real race.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think that, and I've been pitching this idea of ads in a game, which I really haven't vocalized it since I've been back into gaming. But I remember playing Call of Duty back in the day and be like, why don't they have like a sign here that like has an ad for something? Why don't they sell ad space within these levels? I do not comprehend it.
They do that in 2K. So like you have a big Gatorade place, you have a big they used to have Foot Locker, now they have 2K shoes, so clearly the Foot Locker bag wasn't big enough.
But bro, like I don't understand why these things don't have like billboards and like it's like, hey, rent this billboard for a week for X amount of money. Yeah. Like Fortnite. Do you know how much money you could make if on the island in each POI you have a billboard and people could rent out that billboard space?
Especially when Fortnite was at its peak a couple years ago.
Oh my god. Because think about it. You'll see it all day, right? MeUndies. I see MeUndies.
Crazy money.
Now I want to wear MeUndies. Like, it would make so much sense. And then, with that, you're basically now using your audience as a way of revenue, which then give us maybe a battle pass for free here or there, right? Like, that way, and now you're satiating that need for the money that you would normally be getting from selling the game from these ad people. I don't get it. I don't understand how no one's done it yet. Or maybe there's a legal thing. I don't know. But I just don't understand how it hasn't been done. But that was my last idea. I mean, I just wanted to see, because I always had this idea in my mind. I wanted to throw it out to someone else and be like, hey, is this a crazy idea, or like would this turn you off from playing a game if there was ads in it? Now I'm not saying a pop-up ad where like all of a sudden you go to build and like you can't build because there's an ad.
No,
but like I mean like a physical sign in the game of like, hey, watch Sopranos. I don't know.
Like any type of like an advertising.
Yeah.
Drink
Mulan,
G-Fuel, whatever the case.
Mulan's coming out. Like I mean, I don't understand how it hasn't been done yet, considering that these games are getting played by probably more people watching TV.
Yeah.
Like a TV show. So how is no one capitalized on revenue space there? I do not understand. But with that said, that's really all the topics I got for this week on the rants I got. because this was more of a rant than anything else that I had for my gaming section. But yeah, Kyle, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Buff Charmander. You can find me on YouTube and a podcast feed, Geeks Weekly. That is 2 words. A bunch of stuff coming out lately. This week we have some stuff related to my favorite coming of age story / high school movie / one of my favorite movies ever, Superbad. So be sure to check that out. And yeah, that's what I got going on. John, where can people find you?
As always, Twitch TV / Ginger Gorilla Gaming, and announce Ginger Gorilla Gaming on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Just look for that gorilla logo, kind of like this one back here, this gorilla logo. You know, the logo half, not my face half. But look for the logo, look for the name. You'll be able to find it. Once again, let us know what you think about everything that we're doing here. Let us know if you would like to hear a double shot of love reality review, because I think that could be something that could come down the pipeline that I know I'd enjoy doing. And thank you guys for watching if you stuck around this much. Until next time, peace out, everybody.
See you next time.